Materials. Now materials have a lot to do with how shadows function also. So in here what I did is assign a new material. Assign a new material, blend. Okay. And what I want to do is assign that same material to all objects. So I grab all these material objects in the scene, and a fast way to do that is go into the window rendering editor's hypershade, right click on blend, and assign existing material. Now how shiny they are has a lot to do with how the material is running on spectral highlights. So what I want to do is assign two different blends. I want one in the background here that goes blend. So this is now blend 2. Blend 2, I probably don't want blend 2 to be very shiny, so I'm going to knock down the eccentricity of the spectral roll-off and the reflectivity. Okay. So now what I can do is start introducing new lights within the scene. My next one is a point light. And now that the wall is a separate material that handles light a lot differently, even though it's a blend, and these are a little bit shinier because their eccentricity is a little higher, I get this spectral highlight that's occurring on the outside edge. And in this window, I can adjust that and still see what's going on using the IPR render. So what I want to do is adjust this in such a manner that they all have like a spectral highlight occurring on the very outside edge of them. Also, usually this light, this backlight it's called, is usually at a higher value. Now you see how it's lighting the scene too much. Even though it's at a bright value, I don't want it that bright. But I want it that bright on these objects, but not the other objects. So how do I handle that? How do I separate light from object? Well, that is called light linking. It is located under here, relationship editors, light linking, light centric. This is where you start kind of naming your scene, because right now it's pretty easy because I got a group and I got this P cube. If I click on P cube is the actual scene right here, and the rest are grouped. I grouped them together because then I could scale them. So what I did here is I took these objects and I went in here to general and hit group. Because now what I can do is just grab the group in this form under outliner. If I just grab group, it grabs all the objects. And then when I scale them, they scale all together. If they're not in a group, they will not scale correctly. So that's why I made groups. Okay, back to the actual fact that this light has influence over the background. Well, I can click on point light here, and then I can uncheck pCube1. And now it only has effect over the objects, but it does not have effect over the background. And this is kind of cool because what we can do now is make a very interesting render, because there's a light source over here that is unidentified, but still interesting to see. So backlights are a very, very ornamental type deal. And I think I have that thing still in Photoshop. Yeah, I do. Perfect time. So here I have a model, okay, that I've kind of lit using a 3-point lighting system. This is my backlight. And back here is a fill light. And what I'm doing right now with the actual spotlight is making this light right here. So the whole deal is this one just strengthens the outline and separates it from the background. The spotlight, which is the key light, highlights all the detail. And the thing that we haven't covered yet is the fill light, which just makes it so it's not so contrasty, because without the fill light, this shadow would be black, and we do not want that. And you can move this around 3 points. You can move them around to make very interesting scene setups. Like take for this one, for instance. This one has the key light pointing up, the fill light pointing down, and then it has still the backlight, and I move the backlight over to the other side of the model. They know it doesn't match the rest of them, but if I had a scene that's all set up like this, that'd be very interesting. Make everything very gloomy or, you know, mysterious like. This one's more, you know, sun outside shining down, making some contrast, and same with the other two. So moving around those 3 points of light really do make a lot of dramatic things happen within your scene. Now that we have understand backlight and how it affects the geometry, let's now look at the fill light.